Hello and welcome to the DFS underscore PhD show for today, the 4th of February. Remember, you're good enough, you're strong enough. And gosh darn it, someone's got to win that money. And hey, congrats again, 2 days in a row, I believe, for KC Rooks. Wow, that Steph play. I had a few Saber simmed into some Stephs as well. That's why you leave the shooters on 5 to 15%, huh? I mean, geez, when they go off absurdly. Giannis also went off even more than Doncic. It was a fun slate last night. For people who did that, I went 80% Doncic, so I did not win that money. I had, a couple 300s, whatever. Been trying to wait out the news today, but so far I just saw a couple like kind of not what I was looking for news pieces come in. Just make sure we haven't gotten anything. I think we just got a midday downgrade to Aldama, so it might be Tillman season again. They might be doing like an alternating thing. Like it's hard to read the tea leaves in these. We got a downgrade on Cody Martin. Didn't see that earlier. Don't love a downgrade on Cody Martin. So let me go ahead and go over here to my place where I tell you to play Cody Martin and change that a bit. Don't want to do that. Cody Martin being out is kind of that's interesting. Let's look at that. I hadn't seen that news yet. And I saw Halliburton and Turner both participated. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. At the beginning of the video, I kept this here so I would remember. Whenever somebody sends me something, doesn't matter if I've earned it or whatever, I always show it on camera because I want to say thank you. I like SaberSim. Obviously, they give me all the crap I wear all the time anyway. Not crap. It's very nice. I appreciate it. I would like a polo. Let's pop a polo in the mix. We're not trying to just all be hoodie dudes, right? We're trying to be like sharp looking dudes. Like coaches, right? You guys SaberSim coaches. Why are the coaches not? Anyway, dialing it back. They give us a nice duffel bag. I like this. It's a sports theme. So I didn't know what this was. I gave it to like, my wife, like here's Amazon or something. But no, it was actually a fun thing to open. So let's have a look. Bada bang. Looks pretty cool. And oh yeah, nice and big. Give you the old SaberSim logo there. So get it on camera. I'm a SaberSim guy. If you don't know, now you know. I mean, you win me $100,000, I'll be your guy too. So, okay, and also I got a little bit of Nike, a little bit more Nike branding than I would love, generally speaking, but it's okay. You give me a free thing, I'm not going to complain. I don't currently have a good duffel, so that's a good duffel. Thank you again to SaberSim. They're not sponsors, but based on the way they have they have a couple of really nice giveaways, and so you don't have to pay for that much SaberSim if you're paying attention and doing a good job at SaberSim. So this year I won the SaberSim Max Challenge. I won a week of it, and then I won, or by doing it, you get like I don't know, 3, 4 free months, and then I've won 5 free months. It's basically like I paid for a couple months, and I'm completely happy with my experience at SaberSim, and I totally recommend you do too. Okay, so that's not, again, they haven't paid for that. I mean, aside from that, they give me access to the thing and then I win money. And so they kind of pay for it in opportunity cost of, Max Steinberg and all these guys who are up at the top and otherwise could win by just keeping the thing private. So I appreciate that. I also appreciate, that you guys aren't pricing me out yet. I know it'll be a year or two down the road and you'll have $500 a month for every sport package or whatever thing it'll be, like stochastic, but I appreciate it for now. It's very, very valuable to me for now. Okay, so we were just saying which dude is out, probably due to a midday downgrade. Cody Martin. With Cody Martin out, I mean, there's already no chance this game stays close, but with Cody Martin out, that would be significant. That for who? I mean, these guys that are peripheral guys, I guess. I would love to be able to play Nick Smith Jr. And that's who I would hope gets these minutes from Cody Martin being out. So if Cody Martin's out, what I would probably do, I would probably jam like wow. I mean, I was already at 10% Nick Smith Jr. just anyway, because he's a shooter and can go off. Like I've seen it one time already, and it's the NBA. If he's done it one time, he can do it again, particularly in a blowout in a game with a very high total. Very high total for the second unit in a blowout. Nick Smith Jr. could score like 24 points or something in like, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 minutes off the bench. So I'm not sure how much you would get of that. I mean, like honestly, obviously McGowan's is the more of the first choice kind of guy, but he's a lower utilization kind of guy. So, but both ways, these are the guys, and I mean, ugh,
I think they play Leaky Black bigger. Yeah. Leaky is not that big, but he's been playing like a big for a while, so they keep playing him that way. So if this is now assuming Cody Martin's out, I would add a spicy pick of Nick Smith Jr. and Bryce McGowan's. And that's a significant amount of Nick Smith Jr. because if he gets those minutes, I do think he smashes. And slightly less Bryce McGowan's. More like 10% now. But those are both, yeah, that's what that news does for me. What else? We got Santi Aldama now questionable. So let me just react to news. I think it's valuable for you guys to see how to react to news. Don't look at the lineups now. Don't play your morning lineups. These are placeholder lineups. You know, you get them in there just so you feel good. Like if you have a heart attack, you got something in there or whatever. But you're not going to win. I mean, that's not how you win NBA DFS. You got to react to the news. You got to be late swapping just the same as your regular swapping. Although I got to say, if you've been following the show, you're probably having the same problem. Don't So when you download your projections for late swap and then re-upload them, you have to worry about rules because the late swapping thing is fragile to rules, even if it's fine. Like even if you've left it with plenty of options, it just can't handle the rules. Just like, if you start playing around with team stacks, I don't know if you've ever done that, but if you click too many options here, like unclick like three of them or something, all of a sudden, even though they weren't 0%, 0%, 0%, if you unclick them, it would completely break the optimizer for whatever reason. I don't know. I'm not in on the back end. But so anyway, if you find yourself in a situation with late swap and you can't figure out why it's only giving you like 36 out of 40, undo the rules. The rules aren't that important. They're all like they limit us to a phase space that I think is more reasonable to win. But as a last resort, you need the late swap more importantly, right? Like if you've gotten a piece of important news, you must maximize it. If you find out Maxi Kleba is starting instead of Richaun Holmes, do not care that I said Richaun Holmes was core. That was assuming he started, right? We knew if he went to the bench, DNP was an option. You had to know that. I still left 15% because I didn't know. I mean, like, yeah, they could have gone a three-headed monster. They could have gone completely drop Powell. Probably not. I mean, they've only done the one thing, right? So it was dumb of me. I should have swapped all the way off, but I was in the golf parking lot and my friend was ready to go. So I was like, all right, I'm done with this. Let's get out of here. So I knew I had to get off frickin' 65% Richaun Holmes because that was not the right move. Okay. So now we've got Aldama down. Okay, yeah, yikes. So we got an Aldama downgrade, and let's look at Line Star. Vince and Concha are both regular questionable. Vince and Concha are both regular questionable. I think we might have something setting up here. Yeah, Memphis down 18. Okay. I see what you're doing, Memphis. You can't fool me. You're resting all your stars because you don't have a chance anyway. Don't play any of the Boston guys. It's fool's gold. They're not going to get full minutes. The guys you can play from Boston are like these garbage dudes. Sorry. The guys who will get extended in a blowout. It's not right to call these guys garbage dudes either. I've seen them play. I understand these guys are not bad at basketball. There's a reason why they're out there. There's a reason why I'm sitting here and telling you to play like a smidgen of Luke Cornett, a smidgen of, no, not at 4K actually, but some Sam Hauser for sure, some Peyton Pritchard for sure. These are guys that if you give them like 20 minutes just out there smashing nobodies, they're going to smash the nobodies. I mean, they will smash them into smithereens. So let them be out there in a shooter's situation, but do not play the. I just don't see it. I don't see how in whatever. Boston is good about resting their starters too, and they're not going to be. They're playing nobodies for sure now. Like this game's going to be. Oh, let's see, who's going to play. I think I just saw a Derrick Rose downgrade. Let me see. Something about Derrick Rose happened. Now questionable. Yeah, Derrick Rose now questionable. I thought so. Okay, so who's even the dudes? All right, these initial guys I unclicked back in play. Uh Tosan's not bad. Like point per minute guy. If he gets minutes, he's fine. Like nobody will play him because weird name. I never watched Princeton. Watch a little college basketball, chumps. Okay, so these guys, wow, that's not a lot of guys on the roster. That's not a lot of guys available today. Is Scottie Pippen Jr. available? He was in the G League. If Scottie Pippen Jr. is not available due to being in the G League, this is going to be amazing. This is going to be the most fun we've had in a long time in fantasy sports. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dudes. They have to recall. Yeah, they're going to recall Scottie Pippen Jr. from the G League. So let's see. So that's their only other option, right? They have nobody else on the roster. So Scottie Pippen Jr. has to play. Otherwise, okay. So let me mention the other possibility. If they're like, so it's possible at this point, Scottie Pippen Jr. has been balling. We all saw it. They don't want to pay him probably because that's not what they're doing here. They're trying to get, they're trying to pay people min price to cover roster spots. And Scottie Pippen Jr. has done better than that. So they're in the situation now where they're not going to be able to pay him what he's worth, right? So they're not going to be able to convert a 10-day to a season long for him. And so I think that means he's going to have to stay in the G League. So they might shuttle up another guy, pay attention to that. But the other thing they might do, they might leave somebody who's not going to play technically active. So like you might see them, one of these Conchar or Vince Williams, because the reason you have to have 8 to play. So that's why this is a situation that I see brewing here. Because right now they only have 7 guys on their roster. So something's brewing, guys. Either we're gonna have somebody like weirdly resting. Okay, so who's gonna for sure smash now? Who's gonna for sure smash in this situation? David Roddy is gonna, I mean, like, so his price is high enough where like you still don't want to be super high on and anybody whose name you've heard of on this team is gonna sit in a blowout now because they're gonna have other guys available. But I mean, so even I haven't heard of 5 of these guys. You know what I mean? I haven't heard of. Have I? Okay, so you would definitely rest Luke Kennard in a blowout. So I'm gonna, and he's high enough price that I think you can still unclick Luke Kennard. He's just gonna be rested along with the rest of the guys. So the dudes who are just gonna be run into the absolute ground. David Roddy, G.G. Jackson, Jacob Gilyard, Tosan Egwabom, and Trey Jemison and Matt Hurt. So here's what we got to figure out. Matt Hurt and Tosan. I don't think we know what their rotation is going to be, but what in the world? Who's playing for this team? Is anybody playing for this team? 6 people, and Kennard, who will be technically active, but I suspect will not get real minutes. Nobody's playing for this team. This is absurd, man. I can't get the points up high enough now that we figured out what's happening with these guys. I mean, Jacob Gilliard's just got to be. I mean, got to have him. Okay, we're gonna have to rerun this. And then off the bench, all these guys are going to get 18. I mean, I just don't see a way they don't. How many minutes are we talking? So there's 48 minutes per slot per game. Per game, there's only. I mean, one of these guys has to start, right? Oh no, right. They're going to do a fake thing with Kennard. So off the bench, the guy who gets the most minutes in a Kennard type role is Tosan. I think. I think it is. So, because their big situation. What's going on with Tillman? Doubtful. Yeah, their big situation is also they don't got no bigs. So I think this is just back up the truck time, guys. I think we're backing up all the trucks because one of these guys is going to have to start. Tosan, Matt Hurt, or Trey Jemison, or other. I mean, and that's assuming they fake Kennard start. Aldama got midday downgraded, so I assume they're going to actually downgrade him to out. Vince Williams is a guy that I think if he's not actually hurt, they might just like show him, but do not have much Vince Williams. They've figured out he's good now, I think. Like he's not just like no offense to Gigi, but Gigi is like Trackmaster General good. As long as he's getting these ridiculous minutes at no cost, then you should play Gigi. But he's not like good in the NBA good. Vince is maybe good in the NBA good. Like when you prove that, it's a problem on these teams, right? It's not really what we're doing on days like this, right? This day, it seems like when we're resting, if we're gonna rest Aldama and we're gonna rest Derrick Rose today, there's absolutely no ambiguity about what today just became. So that's number one. That's why I'm waiting until shoot around, man. Because a few minutes ago, I was going to make a whole different video about how you needed to play Colin Sexton or whatever, or Keontae George, which are still fine values, and I should probably still get to some. But let's rebuild lineups right quick now that it's a completely different situation. I'm 40. Do I have 40? Yeah. Doing 40 today. I have nothing to do. It's raining in Southern California later today, so I'm going to be sitting around the house all day. So, and there's no football, no other sports. So you better believe we'll be there. Especially, I mean, I guess we're not going to be late swapping to do if I play this many Memphis guys, but all right. Okay, so besides the Memphis guys, what other points? Obviously, we got what other rules do we have right now? $200 on the table. It's 7 games is plenty enough. Although now you can leave a little bit more because of the value that's opening up. With the Memphis game, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Like it's getting wild, I think. Max 2 out of 3 Minnesota bigs. I pulled that one out of my hat again. I think it's a standard one for me. Anytime they're playing Phoenix is on the early slate, so that's why we don't have that rule. New Orleans is not on the slate, so we don't have that rule. I unclicked all the guys who are in a blowout who are on the team that's doing the blowing out because I think they have a limited upside. For similar reasons, I have Jokic slightly lower projected than Giannis because I think the chance that Giannis's game stays close is higher than the chance that Jokic's game stays close. So I always finagle the top guys' distributions a little bit based on who I think is having the better possibility of upside. Şengün, I think. Oh yeah, right. Houston is another situation where we just have to talk about it. What's going on here? I mean, yes, I get it. 7-point spread, decent chance of a blowout. Projecting Fred VanVleet for, I mean, these minutes are gross. Like Jabari Smith is the best example. 34 minutes, you think he's going to score 24 points? What's happened? Why? I think it's because the last game he played 24 minutes. I think they've got something's wrong with these Houston projections currently for SaberSim. And I mean, I'm not, you just heard me, I'm a SaberSim guy. The game sims, like, I think that when you get blown out a few times in a row, the sim starts assuming the rotations or something. Anyway, make sure your Jabari Smith Jr. is higher than 24 projection. That's absurd. I mean, yeah, there's other guys on this team who might get some usage, but dude, he's going to play 34, 36, 40 minutes. He's played 40 minutes in a competitive game. So 34 is still a conservative estimate for what you're going to get out of Jabari Smith. Do I really want to be 100x the field? That's a pretty strong stand. I'll take 30%. He's one of the better plays on the slate. But given what we've just noticed about Memphis, we don't need to be quite so wild on this particular play. But this is the other major play I saw earlier in the day. And this is the kind of thing you're drilling down on before you get news. Half of Memphis is out. Well, okay, now that half of Memphis is out, I understand what's going on. And you can build groups too if you want. Like a stay close versus a blowout group, but I don't think you need to build any groups, and I don't think you need to set any limits. I mean, there's just like let's look at it without parsing it down to Memphis. What's the other value? Memphis, 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 and then like Nick Smith Jr. speculative value, Nas Reed speculative value, Jabari Smith speculative value, Peyton Pritchard blowout value, same game, Trey Jemison, same game, Tosan, same game. So we've got like Sengun, okay, you know what? Now that I'm seeing it in this kind of context, that's I can Miles Bridges is a fine play. That's fair. But yeah, I think fading Vince Williams is the move because here's the other thing. Ownerships will be important. Memphis is going to have guys just like on the last slate. Last slate Tillman was the move because Tillman was wildly low owned and played the whole game because he had to. Somebody's going to of these guys, nobody wants to play all of Memphis, right? I don't want to play all of Memphis either. But some days that's going to be appropriate is to play all of Memphis, like pretty much, and then just choose who you want from the other games. So like right now, I'm not sure exactly who to choose from Memphis, but I do think number one, whoever starts of these guys who currently are set to 18, 18, and 18, one of them has to start in my estimation, or like, yeah, has to start. Even if yeah, so even if Kennard is in, because they haven't downgraded him yet. Just double check. I heard a buzz. But yeah, so then you would only have three regular starters, counting Gilyard and Gregory Jackson and Roddy as regular starters. But then you have Kennard, that's four. So you have to have one of Tosan, Matt Hurt, or Jemison start. Or you get Tillman off of doubtful and he play him the whole game. And so I think they only did that because they had to. They've shown they don't want to do that. Do I think they play Matt Hurt the whole game? Or like, yeah, I kind of do. I kind of think they give Matt Hurt starter minutes and they give Trey Jemison backup minutes. Let's look at it. Let's look at it. Okay, so we had a weird Memphis game recently in Popcorn Machine. Now this is the one where what's his name played. Memphis game flow. This is the weird one. Yeah. So I just want to see, does Jemison come in for Jemison is coming in for Vince Williams and being subbed back in by Jaren Jackson Jr. So at some points, Jemison is playing the 5. Triple J was active. Triple J is not active today. Oh my gosh. What in the world, man? There's so much value on this Memphis team today. It's just wild. Play them. I mean, don't set artificial rules on the amount of Memphis guys today. Don't do it. I mean, if something else opens up, let that compete in the open market against the number of Memphis guys you have, because it should be high. The number of Memphis guys you have should be high. I can't project this correctly now. Now that did they do an update? 10/22. That's now. Yeah, they got the news. Why didn't they change the projections? You got to make a change. 10/32. Okay, so we got something. SS projections. So they still have a bunch of these guys in and are not projecting my backup guys for as much. Okay, they're not quite wise to the game. So my projection here is that they're going to ride these bench guys out. So no matter who starts out of Matt Hurt, Tosan, and Trey, they're going to play way more minutes than they ever have in their entire NBA career, because it's going to be a blowout the whole game. Jacob Gilyard is going to be out there with them because somebody has to handle the ball. Otherwise, they're going to lose by 100 points. And then one of Gigi or David Roddy is going to play in that scenario. So one of Gigi or David Roddy. So I don't know who it is. I don't know who they value less. I don't know exactly if that's the choice even. But I am going to add, if I can. Okay, good. I'm having trouble. I accidentally set up like theater mode or something. I can't. I'm stuck like an old man in my computer on, like, I don't really understand where this screen that I'm sharing is. Okay, so Memphis, this is a Roddy or Gigi in blowout, question mark. And it's a maximum one, use no more than one, and it's going to be Roddy and Gigi in a blowout. Now, one of them is going to just completely smash the whole world. So that's what we're going to go. And we're going to say, smash the whole world. Because one of them smashing the whole world for sure. Like, if you give those guys all the blowout minutes, you need them in your lineup for sure. But I do think it's a one or the other. And I do think you're going to need some of these other randos yeah, it's a 50-50 thing between those guys. And then you can have 100% Jacob Gilyard because he's in there in the blowout, he's in there in the non-blowout, he's scoring points, and the points he's scoring will be enough. Then your Jemison and Matt Hurt levels, right. I haven't figured out exactly what I want to do with Tosan, Jemison, and Matt Hurt. And if I think you can play them all together, I think you can. I don't think you should set any rules at all. And I think you should play a lot of those guys. Okay, so now let's try one more time with the Memphis guys, one more rebuild. Now that I've told them the ridiculousness that is what my projections are for this Memphis team. Really, we should wait, right? I mean, I think 30 minutes ahead of time would be enough that they will do game sims here. And so I put these videos out so that you guys can reflect on the slate for 2 hours at a time. You should change your lineups based on what the late news is. Just like yesterday with Rishan. Doesn't matter if he's my core. That's me early on with the current situation. If I had known Kleba was starting, guess who's core? That guy, right? So like today, I don't know. Honestly, it's not the same choice really for Memphis today. The guy who starts is a little safer, but he's mostly just going to get higher ownership, right? So for me today, Hurt, Jemison, and Tosan, maybe 100%. I might play 100% of those guys today. Like, free squares. I mean, these guys are going to play 24 plus minutes in a game where they're just throwing up their hands. They're not that bad. All of them are rebound guys. All of them are like try to score points guys. And they're all going to be like, this is like the one game they get to do this in where they're in this situation. So I assume that's what these lineups will be. Oh, still, I mean, I guess there's other possibilities. Yeah. So we're only getting to 100% Gilyard. That's a little surprising to me. I assume that's situational, like the positional or something. There's maybe less guard value and more other kind of value or something. I don't really want 100% Jacob Gilyard. He's just not that good. And really, I mean, could have convinced myself they close with some like weird something. Number one, they could, if they re-sign Scottie Pippen, you definitely don't go 100% Gilyard. I mean, it's not wrong. It's not wrong to go 100% Jacob Gilyard. I just think it's a little too much for me. 65% is about how confident I am in the takes provided in this particular rant. So let's put that there. Yep, 70% Tosan. I'm 100% confident in that. Okay. So now you've got your core. Your core are these guys who are not coming off the court from Memphis. Um, so for me, I guess that's Matt Hurt, Tosan, and Trey Jemison. These guys today, based on the news we have and now, okay, we're going to get this news before lock. 30 minutes before lock, you will know whether this is the right thing to do or not. If you get that deluge of notifications that says so and so Aldama ruled out, what's his name, ruled out the old guy, Derrick Rose. My apologies, he's actually still doing pretty well, like Patty Mills level, respectable as an old man. That's fine. So Patty, you would have him ruled out. You would have you might have some surprise rule outs. You might have somebody is surprisingly here, like Scottie Pippen's in the building. Wow, had his contract converted or something. I'm not sure, but I feel like we've had close to 10 games from him. I think it might be a contract situation, or they're getting close to the end of it, or I don't know. So regardless, you're playing Memphis guys today if you get those notifications. And if you don't, then you're going and you're fixing you're fixing all these projections. You're not doing these projections. You're not running almost 100% Tosan Evwabom. I still don't know how to pronounce his name. How to pronounce Tosan Tosan Evbomont. Evbomont. Okay. So Tosan Evbomont, unless I hear otherwise. Trey Jemison. It's going to be nuts. Like, I assume these guys, assuming the two of the three that do not start will be owned in the single digits or maybe double digits because there's just not that many people who are this sharp. They need to be close to 100%. Whoever the guys are off the bench who are going to be the scrubs, because this is a blowout. Like the line right now is 18, and that's before. I mean, like this is like SaberSim's number before we had the recent news. The recent news was Aldama now questionable, and Derrick Rose now questionable, and yeah, that was it. So two more guys are now questionable. Since it was an 18-point spread, it's a blowout. Don't pretend like this game has a possibility of staying close. You know, I did it over here for Houston. I did the opposite, right? I think this game does have a chance to stay close. So you need to ballpark. What's it like when this one stays close? No, don't do that for Memphis. There's not the guys. The guys aren't here. Those guys are not playing today. The guys that make this possibly close. If you believe, if they're all ruled in, and you believe Luke Kennard has the game of his life, they might lose by 10. You're right. Like they could keep it close technically, but they can't win. I mean, like they can't win even if every one of these players has the game of their life against Boston, I think. I mean, and every night in the NBA is a new painful reality that, fine, maybe Boston can lose by 20 to Tosan. I mean, like it's possible. I've seen these guys shoot. I've shot. Have you ever done? I mean, if you're a guy who has played like shooting guard or you're a guy who's been relied on to shoot for a team, about twice a year you have those games where like your teammates are reminded why you get to shoot like that, right? I mean, like, like it happened to me 2, 3 Sundays ago. I hit every shot. I took like 11 threes. They were bad ones. I took weird threes. I took threes on the go. I took threes weirdly off balance. They look off balance, but I'll tell you something, they're not off balance. The reason I'm doing my body like that is to keep my shoulders perfectly on balance and moving with no anyway. So I'm just telling you, any one of these dudes could have that game. Like it is possible still, but Memphis is not trying to have that happen. They're trying to lose this game for sure. That's what I mean. That's what it seems like. Or it seems like we're going towards. They're not allowed to say that. That's technically illegal. But what's happening with this Memphis availability situation? Easiest and most fun thing to play. I mean, I like it when we have a situation like this where it's not a free square. It's a free situation square, right? Like, because people are going to misread the situation. I think that the easy guys to go to here are still the ones who will, I mean, anybody who's available, who normally plays for this team is a trap. Don't play them. Unclick Santi Aldama. Unclick Vince Williams. Anybody who just got downgraded, even if they play, don't play them. That's not what we're doing today. That's Memphis team is losing today. They know it. You know it. Sorry, they know it. Boston knows it. Everybody knows it. So don't play for it to be close. Play for this blowout. Okay, well, now that I've coached the team about this one game is going to be a blowout, play Tosan, play Jacob, play Jemison, play, some combination of Memphis guys, and then guess who else you're playing? I mean, I need to make sure my other guys aren't limited too much now. Because, yeah, all the guys at the very top, I need to make sure, yeah, like I don't want to be limited to 15% Jokic now, not with this kind of value. No, no, no. No, 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 no. We are not limiting our Jokic. We're not limiting our Giannis. We're not limiting our Shai. We're not limiting our Sengun. We're not limiting our Bridges. You will get as much of any of these guys as you want. We have infinite value. Infinite value. Don't pretend you don't have value, and do not take guys who are in games that they will probably blow out. So Denver and Portland. This is the other one where I can't figure out what to do. Denver's not that good a team. I mean, this is not that good a team. Like yes, I know they are 14-point favorites in this game, rightfully so, probably going to win. But, and also, I don't know, do we have a questionable situation for Portland? They're always doing this. Brogdon and Grant, but I mean, they've been playing. I don't think they're out. I think everybody plays here for them. If everybody plays for Portland, I mean, like, it's not as big of a gap in talent as Boston and Memphis. Denver and Portland is like probably Denver blows them out, but maybe they don't get there in 3 quarters. Maybe they need the fourth or something. You know what I mean? So I still think I wouldn't go more than 50% Jokic today, but assuming he does wind up in the teens in ownership, we're going to be over the weight. I don't understand how you don't play. How many team stacks, Memphis, stack exposure. So fours, we got fours with Memphis. No fives. A little bit surprised. A little bit surprised. No 5 stacks at all with Memphis. I know I do get it now. The reason you don't have any 5 stacks is there's no spend ups for Memphis. You know what I mean? Like there's only pay downs. So that limits you can't have a stack of 5 because if you did, then there's just you can't pay up for enough. Right? So yeah, I guess I mean Giannis is core now. Giannis is core. Giannis, Tosan, and Jemison. Those are your core. Because Tosan and Jemison, actually, now that I think about it, I wish I was getting to more Matt Hurt than Tosin. So let me do that in the numbers. So Matt Hurt is a little bit more, I'm a little more confident he gets those points than Tosin. Yeah. So that should do it. That should do it. Yep. So now Matt Hurt goes up there with Gilyard and yeah. So Gilyard, his points coming from assists as well. So he's like kind of a next tier of like guy to jam compared to Hurt, Jemison, and Antetokounmpo. Those are the guys I think are the absolute smash plays of the slate. I do think that how many of you do I think are sharks? 5%, maybe 1%. 1% of you guys will play these guys off the bench at the amount that they're supposed to. But you should. And I mean, like, one of them's going to start. I think it would be Tosin, just because like the guy he would be replacing would be a guy on the wing. So assuming he gets that role, then we do it like this or something. But come back and change these later. Don't use these numbers. This is just so I get some sense so that Saberson doesn't have a 0 in here for ownership and they don't pretend like somebody's going to figure out what's going on with Memphis today, just like I am. Like, what else are we doing this morning? There's no football or anything. Everybody else is looking at the same thing and going, huh? Why is that way? Why is Tyus Jones a game time decision? I thought he would be out. I thought we had that he was out. Well, regardless, that came soon, right? That's an early game. Okay. Well, don't play Kispert if Tyus Jones is in, I guess. Was that it? There was another guy, I think, that's also out. What up? Yeah. So not doing early slate right now. I'm doing main slate, and it's basically the Memphis show. So I've told you what to do. You play some Memphis guys, and you play guys who are going to score a lot of points. And beyond that, you don't get too cute. No need to be cute. Not a cute slate. Not time to be cute. All right. So remember, you're good enough, you're strong enough. And gosh darn it, someone's got to win that money. Might as well be us. As long as you're playing those 4 Memphis guys.